Aspetta un secondo.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much to be in this international workshop on the marine biobased products. I'm Daniele Gizzi, of the staff of the project Biovoices project. First of all, I want to really thank you all the staff of the project that allow and organize this event, even in a virtual way. I also really thank you, Concetta Messina, from European Society of Marine Biotechnology, that support the organization and dissemination of this event. Say that, I don't want to waste time because we have a very full agenda, and we have several speakers with which the participant will have the chance to interact through the Q&A chat open for your questions and also we have a final session reserved to the interaction among the participants and speakers. Say that, I also stress on the fact that we schedule some specific interactive section through the Mentimeter. In the light of that, I can ask you to keep close your smartphone. Later, we show you how to proceed and how to proceed with the access to the Mentimeter. Say that, I want to underline also that all the material produced and displayed during this event is already in public in the event on the platform Biovoices project platform, where you can also find some works received from the students involved in this project and in this event, and are already available for the download. Say that, I repeat, I won't waste time. I have the pleasure to give the floor to the Vice Coordinator of the project Biobased, Matteo Sabini.
Hello to everybody. So thanks, Daniele. Thanks to everybody for participating in this. Just a few words about the Biovoices project coordinated by APRE. The main goal is to increase the awareness of people on the benefits of the bioeconomy and to help also the bio-based products to reach the market to increase their use by the citizens, and also addressing what are the challenges identified by the project. So we identified some projects according to the development of the bio-based products from the research to market, and also clustering these challenges in some areas, for instance, local development, maturity of technology, and so on. So we are doing more than 70 mobilization mutual learning at regional, national, and European level like this. And we also created a platform, the Biovoices platform, where people can interact, can know more about the bio-based products and the bioeconomy. We also made some activities in order to increase the knowledge of these products. For instance, we have we made a lot of activities in terms of presentations, show of the bio-based products, and so on. And we have also the BioArt Gallery that explains to the people what you can do using some feedstock. For instance, you can see behind Daniele a panel with marine microalgae. So this is more or less the activities of Biovoices, and at the end of the project, and also thanks to events like this, we collect all insights from these events, and we are going to design a series of recommendations to present to the European Commission. So we will use also your input that you will give us today. So now I give the floor again to Daniele.
Thank you very much indeed, Matteo, for this introduction. I quick go to Francesco Cappello for the institutional greetings from the Italian Society for Experimental Biology. Francesco, the room is yours.
Yes, thank you. It's a great pleasure for me to give this brief welcome address for the second symposium of experimental biology applied to the sea and environment. And first of all, I would like to thank Titti Messina for the organizing effort she performed in the last weeks to permit us to participate to this meeting today, although using a web platform and not in presence because of the pandemic, as you know. This meeting has been organized in collaboration with the Agency for the Promotion of European Research, and I would like also to thank very much all the people of the agency for their fundamental contribution. And this meeting, as you know, has been also organized under the auspices of our society, the Italian Society of Experimental Biology, one of the oldest Italian scientific society that in few years is going to celebrate the first century of activity. Titti Messina is one of the pillars of this scientific society, and this is also why I am very glad today to be here to testify her activity in the field of experimental biology. And let me conclude wishing you a fruitful meeting, and I hope you will have soon in the future the opportunity to visit our beautiful country, also for enjoying our sun, our sea, our food, our monuments, and our culture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francesco. I go now to Concetta Messina, Vice President of the European Society of Marine Biotechnology, that is a co-organizer of this event, and I want to really thank you in person.
Thank you very much. First of all, to European Agency for the Promotion of Research, and to let us the opportunity to share the annual symposium on experimental marine biology in the platform, in this platform that for sure will ensure a great sharing of our work and our intervention in the society. And thanks also to Francesco Cappello for the work he gave to me, but it's a pleasure to work together with the Italian Society for Experimental Biology and focusing on aspects related to the sea and environment. And I take also opportunity to give you greetings from the President of the European Society for Marine Biotechnology, and again I want to thank all guests, all the colleagues that accepted to be part of this meeting, taking their expertise in the field of marine biobased. So I want to wish to all of us a good meeting. Thank you so much, Daniele and Matteo, for your valuable support.
Thank you, Concetta, for all your great work done so far. Now I give the floor to Fedra Francocci, representative of CISA's project, also co-organizer and collaborators with this international workshop.
Thank you,
Fedra.
Daniele. Good evening, everybody. and thank you to the organizer for inviting CISAS to represent during this very interesting meeting. So I'm Fedra Francocci from the National Research Council of Italy. I represent now CISAS is the program. That is the International Center of Advanced Study in Environmental Ecosystem, US. Basically, in order to provide their resources, provide ecosystem service and goods and products we all need for our well-being. But the increased impact of pollution is subject that basically there are more than 4,000 densely contaminated sites in Europe, and we have more than 3 of the so our stores are not usable for our chain, the under object of bioeconomy sectors. So 1 year ago, we started organizing in Palermo, and we are still working with the of stakeholders and to study the potential impact of the application of bioeconomy into contaminated air in order to in environmental part of the chemical part is the effect that is induced by the. This is what on and what we to collaboration, and that is very interesting and to provide the again.
Sorry, Fedra, your audio wasn't so good, and I don't know if the other participant could hear you. So I can ask you, Matteo, to summarize some aspect of your interventions. Sorry. Thank you, Matteo.
Sorry, Fedra. Yes, Fedra was talking about also the event that we made together and the discussion we made together in Palermo last September, where we talked about the thanks also to the project CISAS and thanks to the CNR we talked about how the bioeconomy can boost the local development in some polluted areas. And Fedra, we are very sorry for this issue. Maybe we can add in the forum that will be opened in the Biovoices platform, and also in the page of the event in the Biovoices platform, we can integrate some slides from your speech. So thanks a lot, and we can.
Thank you, Matteo. First thank you, Fedra, as well. Thank you very much. Before to go inside our event with the first session, panel session, we prepare for you, for the participants, some icebreaker questions to have more contact with you and know what is your organization, or where is your most interesting aspect that you have in the bioeconomy, in biomarine economy sector. So say that, please keep your smartphone and go. You see on the screen the slide that show how login. You have to go to www.menti.com. I give you some second to go there. I'll do the same. Okay, well, after that you have to enter the code that you see, 845835. some seconds.
And we can now display the first questions. You will see to appear in your smartphone, and we would like to know what is your category. Just to have a clear picture of the stakeholders that are today participating in this event. Okay, not only research, also someone from civil society. But the today event is full of researchers, also because of course this event was organized mainly by research representatives. And we have also a representative from public administration. It's very interesting also to have their contribution, since the bioeconomy is only possible, to implement the bioeconomy is only possible thanks to the support of public administrations and thanks to the strategy plans. Maybe we can go on the next questions. And okay, now we would like to understand what is your position along the value chain, but at this point we can imagine that all of you are part of the supporting environment. And of course, we will have also some, some customer maybe, but however, the code is up, you can see up, is 845835. Yes, okay. More or less all the participants are from the research from academia, and all of you are from the supporting environment. So I would like to go to the next and last questions before to start with the sessions. So now we are trying to understand what are your expectations for the today event. You can use a keyword. You have maximum 3 keywords to use, and you can tell us what are your today expectations. And you will see a cloud appearing on the screen. Good practices, of course, we will present several good practices thanks to our speakers, and innovation, of course, so also cooperation, that at the beginning it was in the center of the cloud, and knowledge. And we really hope that thanks to such events we can really help people to collaborate to create new innovative research in projects, and to work together on new solutions. And of course, we have the 3 main keywords are cooperation, innovation, and knowledge. And of course, if this event would take place in on-site, maybe it would be easier to make the networking activities, but we can do it also online. And I would like to remember you that after the event there will be a forum where you can continue your discussion. So I think that more or less we can go to the next session. And thanks a lot for participating to this first ice-breaking and first interactive session. Keep your smartphone close, and we will then ask you to contribute again in the next session.
Thank you very much, Matteo. Thank you very much for the participant to give us an idea and more information about themselves. Now we can start with the first section of our workshop related to the European perspective of marine bio-based products and ethical and sustainable aspects. I give the floor to Professor Claire Helio from Université de Bretagne Occidentale. I recommend to all the speakers to be on time. I give you, when you have now 10 minutes, and when we are 8-9 minutes, maybe I can advise you. Thank you very much, and welcome, Claire. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. I hope you can hear me well because I don't have a good internet connection. So what I will talk to you about, oh, it's not my presentation on the screen. I don't know, I cannot see my presentation.
Just a second.
Just a second, Claire. Okay, now can you see?
Yes, but it's
Concetta.
yes.
Okay.
Great.
And just a second, because I need to.
Okay, I think that now you can move the presentation. Sorry for this inconvenience. Thank you very much, Claire.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And today I will talk to you about how we organize our research in a core facility in Brest University, which is located in France. So where I work is a European Institute of Marine Sciences, and it's a multidisciplinary organization. And we all have three main activities, which is based on research, on education and observation of the marine environment. And my specific role in the Institute, I'm director of BioDima, which is a bioprospection core facility. And I will explain you how we organize our work and what is our strategy for development. And I'm as well director of a joint laboratory between the university and the company. And again, I will explain about it because for us, it was a really good way of developing activities. I'm co-leader for a master in marine biotechnology, and I work as well on several EU projects, and I will give you details about them. So how do we work on marine biotechnology in our university, and how is our strategies again for development? So it's based on three pillars, and we work on research, of course, and our approach is to have to work on a continuum between fundamental research to application of the research. So we really go from observation of the marine environment, from studying the biomass to sense, try to have some applied research. So really all our projects are usually based on several years of fundamental research. And we work mostly on biomimetic approaches. So we try to, in a way, copy marine strategies to try to develop new compounds. And we work especially in bioactive molecules for cosmetic, health, and anti-fouling paint. We are as well very involved in education, and we have set up a joint higher education international program in marine biotechnology. And now we are more and more involved in lifelong learning programs. So we really try to engage with local company or national company, develop short courses for them, and then start to work together. And we are involved in transfer activity, and we work with a quite large network of companies. So the way we are organized, so we have a research unit with 3 labs working on marine biotech. Then we have core facilities, which are very specific platform. We have one for screening. It's the one I work in, it's BioDimar. We have a platform for ecotoxicology and a platform dedicated to the study of marine lipids. So we work in collaboration with research units, core facilities, and an innovation ecosystem and many enterprises. So we really try to have many links with companies. Sorry. So for us, the key point about development was to work with waste valorization, and waste valorization is a transfer acceleration company. And in fact, what they do, they always try to link us with companies who need maybe specific screening, who need a specific consultancy or specific research and development. And for us, it's a very important point to try to have new partners and new projects as well. So the way we work, so we are, BioDimar is a core facility, and we work at the interface between biology and natural product chemistry. We work as research services for companies, but what we really aim to do is to have collaborative contracts with enterprise or public research laboratories, because then it means that more involvement in science. Our specificity is that we work at pilot scale. So what we do can be transferred to industry. And again, for us, it's a very important point to try to develop marine biotechnology, because all the process we set up, we know they can be transferred in real industrial application. And as I told you before, we work on teaching activities as well. So what we do, we look at the biomass, what's the biodiversity. We go to the chemodiversity, so we look for new molecules, and then we look for new applications. So regarding our development strategy, we have 3 levels. First, the regional level, and we work with a network of labs in west of France. We have a national level where we work with the French National Research Agency, and at European level, we work on several contracts. Regarding the regional level, Valentin Foulon, with my colleagues and participates to the meeting today, has submitted a poster, so I invite you to look at it. I will not go through it, but basically we have set up a new network for valorization of marine fungi biomass, but everything is in this poster. At national level, we have a very interesting project, which is we have set up a joint laboratories between Green Sea, which is an SME, and our university. So it means we have set up a startup enterprise, and we work on valorization of macroalgae. The key thing is that us as a lab, we receive money from the French government, so for 3 years, and for the following 2 years, that the company will pay the project. So it means we have a plan for 5 years activity, and of course, we hope to develop this activity again. So for us, it was a really good way to secure some funding, to do some marine biotech, and to have real projects in link with enterprise. And finally, we work as well at European level, because for us, it's very important to have local project, national project, and then international project. And regarding marine biotechnology, we thought that the best call for us were cost projects, which are really, really interesting, because it's a very good way to meet people, to link, and to foster collaboration. And then usually after that, we have new projects. And we like to work on Interact projects as well, because it's between countries which are very close to each other. And usually it's a very interesting collaborations, and we can set up. So just to give you a very quick overview of the project we work on. So we work on the COFAST AeroNet, which is a very good call for marine biotechnology, because this call is focused on bioeconomy as an important part of the strategy. And we have developed a project with 3 colleagues and colleagues from Denmark, and we work on formulation for new antifouling. And what we do, this project is based on previous research that were done on Staphylococcus coronavirus, which is a red seaweed that can produce antifouling compounds. And what we do in this project is that we try to produce enough compound to make a paint. And for this, we do biotechnology, genomics, bioinformatics, and biochemical. But it all started from fundamental research when we isolate one active compound in a seaweed. But of course, to go to marine biotech, we have to produce in large quantity, and we focus on that for this project. Another project we work on, so it's the EU cost, and I think Michel Barbier will talk about it because there's a new EU cost action about marine biotechnology, which is fantastic. But I'm part of one which is aiming at studying new glue, and in my group we focus on marine adhesive. And again, here it's a poster, so I will not go through it. And finally, I know my time is nearly coming up, we work, as I told you, on indirect program because it's very, very, very good to work with cross-borders countries. And for example, at the moment, we work on the Blue Human Project, which is blue biotechnology as a road for innovation and human health. So, sorry about my timer. So in this project, we try to work on natural compounds that could be used to provide health benefits to people. And what is very interesting about this project is that it has been written after following two other EU projects. So one project was about the study of phenolic compounds from marine algae and plants, where colleagues were able to isolate very interesting compounds with very high bioactivity levels. And in another project, they managed to obtain native marine collagen. And based on the two consortium of this project, they started the new Blue Human Project, which really managed to carry on the other projects. So again, it means for marine biotechnology project, we need a lot of fundamental data before, trying to reach some real application. So, and I told you as well, we are very much involved in teaching activities because if we want to create new jobs in the marine biotechnology sector, we need as well to have specific courses for students. So what we've done at Brest University, we have set up a marine biotechnology master, and Concetta Messina is teaching a full unit with us. So we are very lucky to work with us. And what we do as well is that, as I told you earlier in my talk, we are engaging more and more in long life learning in order to try to give some training to some professionals, but as well to foster more collaboration. Thank you very much. It was a bit fast, but in 10 minutes, it's difficult.
Dear Claire, thank you very much. Also, because you gave a very clear overview, even if with a few time. We know very well that it is not easy to concentrate all the aspects and all the arguments that are really complex in a few minutes, but unfortunately the virtual meeting forces us to keep the time short. But you have been really clear, and I think that the participants will have the chance to propose some questions in the specific session. I would like thank you very much indeed, Claire. I want to give you just an overview about the participants. At the moment, we have 91 participants online, so we are really happy of these results. And more, we have some other participants that are following us through the web streaming on Facebook, on Biovoices account. So thank you again for these results. Now, before to give the floor to Michel Barbier. I would like to remember you that all the documents displayed and the material produced is available on the event on the platform Biovoices platform, where there is it was open also a forum where you can interact also among the participant and the speaker also after the end of the international workshop. Okay, I don't know if we are ready. Okay, so Michel, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you, Concetta, for inviting me and Daniele for organizing this event. So what I would like to bring to today is more some consideration about ethics in marine biotech. As many of the participants are scientists, well, you know that the ocean is a huge biosphere. It covers 70% of the surface and represents 95% of the biosphere, where we have a huge biodiversity because we have a variety of marine environments with adapted marine organisms. And because we have this variety, huge variety of environment, we have a huge variety of organisms that produce some molecules. You know that up to now, there is about 35,000 bioactive compounds that have been identified from the marine organisms because they contain some interesting secondary metabolites that have some biological activities. You all know the two well-known products that are already commercialized. One is this molecule that is designed from a molecule from sponges, the cytarabine, that is a treatment against leukemia and lymphoma, and also the well-known Yondelis that is against sarcoma of the soft tissue, that is inspired from the trabectedin, from the molecule from the tunicate. When we talk about biotech, we talk about business. You know that there is about 5,000 patents that are already associated with marine organisms, and according to the last numbers we have, there is the marine biotech revenues could reach 6.4 billion by 2025, $billion or euros, and it's huge amount of money. It's also an opportunity to create many jobs. When we talk about money, we are thinking about the benefits. How do we share them? Who benefit from this business? What we know is that the known biodiversity hotspots are represented on this map. You see in red the terrestrial biodiversity, while the marine biodiversity hotspots are represented in yellow. So what we can say is that the main location of biodiversity hotspots in the marine environment are located in the equatorial zone, which is not the more wealthiest in terms of economy in the world, because with this same map, but representing by anamorphosis the gross domestic product, you see that the northern hemisphere is much more wealthier than the southern in terms of money than the southern part of the hemisphere. So it means that in one hand you have a biodiversity hotspot that is located in the equatorial area, but mainly all the northern countries are more rich than the southern. And actually 15% of the population controls 75 to 85% of the world wealth. And this is also represented in marine biotech because we have USA, Germany, and Japan that own 70% of the patents related to marine genes. So what we observe here, this map regarding the gross domestic product is also represented and also illustrated in the marine biotech world. But what we want for our future, and this has been developed during the Paris Agreement in 2015, is the Sustainable Development Goals that we all know, where we want to promote equality, where we want also to protect our resources. And it's really important that now everyone is taking this his responsibility regarding these sustainable development goals. But this is not new, because in 1992, during the United Nations Conference on Environment and Sustainable Development that was held in Rio, the Convention on Biological Diversity has been agreed and signed. And the three main objectives of this convention is the conservation of the biological diversity and its sustainable use, but also the fair and equitable sharing of benefits. But we had to wait until 2010 to 12 to have implementation of the Nagoya Protocol. So you probably all know the Nagoya Protocol, that it's a legal instrument linked to the CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, which helps to regulate the access and use of genetic resources. In the case of the marine resources, it's the same than the terrestrial. So, but basically, a country has its resources available, accessible, if they want. So the user, which is a scientist or an industry, needs to have access to the resources and needs to exchange some documents, needs to negotiate the access as well as the use of the genetic resources. So it's through prior informed consent, it's through mutually agreed terms. So it's really a negotiation where the major point will be the transparency and explaining what you are doing here. Are you doing scientific research or fundamental research, or is it for commercial use? And even though if it's for scientific research, you know that maybe in 10 years from now, you will commercialize your product. So it's also the possibility to renegotiate the contract in order to share the benefits arising from the use, the commercialization of these genetic resources. What is also important to say is that when we talk about benefit sharing, it's not only money, but it could be through different formats. It could be through training, through infrastructure, through collaboration, through publication. So it's all about negotiation in between the providing country, the scientists in this country, and the users. This is the Nagoya Protocol is applied, is implemented thanks to the United Convention on the Law of the Sea, the UNCLOS, that has been designed in 1982. As you know, UNCLOS has subdivided the ocean and specifically close to some country provided the access to sovereignty of this country on the resources available in the ocean. So if you see, you have the exclusive economic zone that goes until 200 nautical miles, where all the resources in this water column and the continental shelf are under the sovereignty of the country. So it means within this zone, the scientists or the industry has to ask for the authorization to access and use the resources. A little bit further, you have only the continental shelf that is under the sovereignty of the adjacent country. And beyond, you have this area beyond national jurisdiction. And basically, before it was first arrived, first served, like an open access space. But now the United Nations is working on new notions of how to share, how to use the resources that are in this area. So this is very important and very nice, but we always face some issue, because you know the mobile marine organisms can go from one zone to another. So how can we deal with these mobile organisms? How can we? It's not really easy. So I think what is really important is to always have in mind these principles, ethical principles, and This is what I drafted a few years ago in 2012-14, the CSM Charter on Access and Benefit Sharing of Marine Genetic Resources, where 9 key points have been highlighted. It's about equity and fairness. Of course, we want to not exploit the others, but really try to be as fair as possible. We want also to be compliant with legislation, to be sure of the certainty right of the property rights, because who belongs what, I think it's important. If the industry has the technology, I mean, this has to be very well clarified. We need to be sure to be very, very transparent in order to explain exactly what we are doing, fundamental research, application, industrialization, commercialization. We also need to do a really good traceability. This is what usually scientists do, but it's really important to keep a track on where the species come from, who did what, where did you send the genetic resources, what are the different technologies used on this? Is it genomics or some other methodology? It's really important to keep a track on this. Of course, to develop reciprocal relations, meaning that when you go in a country, you really need to discuss from the beginning with the scientists from there. And I would extend this also to any users of the ocean, like fishermen or divers or sailormen, because it's really important to share from the beginning your thoughts, your will, your wish, and what the local people knows, what the scientist knows, and to establish a really clear, equal discussion. Of course, the concerted handling of commons is necessary to not always have the North dealing with database and really to share all the responsibilities. Of course, conserve the nature and protect the environment, and try to finally to be as efficient as you can, because we don't want to do overlapping projects. So sorry, it was a little bit fast. I would like to thank all the partners, and you are welcome to contact me if needed. Sorry, extra time.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Just a couple of minutes later, but it's not an issue. I take the occasion to inform the participant that if you have questions, we have a specific section below the chat, Q&A, where you can put your questions or request of information, something like that. That will be analyzed and during the last part of the event. So don't be ashamed. You can put question or request of information. With Michel Barbier, we conclude the first section related to the European perspective of the marine biobased products. We skip now to the second session, mainly concentrate on the case studies. And I have the pleasure to give the floor to Joseph Lloret and Arnaud Careno. The floor is yours.
Good morning to everybody, and thank you very much to the organizers for inviting me in this conference, particularly Francesca Messina and Danny Gigi. So here I would like to, this is a work that we are doing in the University of Girona, in the Oceans and Human Health Chair, together with my PhD fellowship, Arnaud Careno, that we are focusing on the threats and opportunities of marine-based products. So I will, what we do in the Oceans and Human Health Chair, this is a network of more than 50 experts, transsectorial and interdisciplinary, where we have marine biologists, veterinarians, physicians, social science, etc. And we are working on an interdisciplinary and holistic view of the oceans and human health topic, covering different disciplines and different topics, from marine resources, fisheries biology, physiology, parasitology, marine ecosystems, marine biology, sonography, and climatology, and health and well-being, medicine, public health, and marine biotech. So we are working on the health benefits and also the health risks arising from the marine ecosystems. Here, in this presentation, I will concentrate on health benefits, particularly the last one. We are working on marine recreational activities and their potential impact or effects on the human health and well-being. We are working on the seafood and healthy diet regarding the seafood products, omega-3 fatty acids, and prevention of certain types of cancer, cardiovascular risk, etc. And in this presentation, I will focus more in the medicines from the sea, which is the one which we have less developed, but which is also very interesting. So here, you know that we have different marine products coming from the sea. This is the general approach we are focusing. And what we are more interested is to see the vulnerability of these species. So how, regarding the conservation issues of these species, in order that they can be, at the end, exploited sustainably, because they can provide new drugs to the markets. So what we did here is the first study, and that we analyzed the vulnerability of fish and macroinvertebrate species with dietary potential in a marine protected area in Cape Verde. This is submitted, this is preliminary results. What we did is to review the bioactive potential of different species living in this marine protected area. I'm going very quick with these materials and methods, of course. And then we evaluate the vulnerability of the species that have bioactive potential following different criteria that consider the biological traits of the species and the ecosystem the habitats where they live. So the marine protected area of Caldegraus is in the northwestern part of the Mediterranean, in the Catalonia region in Spain. And what we found is, for example, if we consider all the species that we reviewed, we see that many species are vulnerable according to our criteria. So you see that, for example, in the case of the porifera, even up to 60% of the species we reviewed with bioactive potential can be considered vulnerable, and they are included in different conventions of protection of the flora and fauna. Another example would be the antifungal protection, where also more than 40% of the species of porifera are vulnerable. I'll just show you some examples. Sorry, too quick. Antitumoral potential. So, for example, the turicata up to 30% or porifera up to 25% of vulnerable species. Cytotoxic potential with tunicata, again, you see this group as more than 40% of the species which are vulnerable, or the porifera and nidaria, 20 or 30%. And then antiviral potential, where you have different species which are vulnerable, but very low percentage in the case of antiviral. You know that one of the topics of antiviral, of course, is to fight against the coronavirus. So even there is one possibility that is now being tested in the very early stage of aplidin, coming from a marine product. So this is really a challenging situation where marine products can also provide an answer. Antioxidant potential, where you have 60% of cephalopods which are vulnerable. Anti-inflammatory potential, 40% of the gnidarias which are vulnerable, or Equidodermata. So this is just the result to show that many of the species with bioactive potential in this marine protected area are in somewhat vulnerable, and so they face some risk of extinction. Okay, even we have some species with biotoxins, so like Cnidaria or the pufferfish, which is reaching our coast lately, like coming from the eastern part of the Mediterranean to the Suez Channel. Because of sea warming, you know that these pufferfishes, they are coming to our waters. They bring tetrodotoxins, which are dangerous for the people, but they are now being studied to produce potent analgesic in patients threatened by chemo. treatment. Okay. Then, of course, we have the power of the omega-3 fatty acids, where resulting from the seed products. Even some of them, they are now being developed as drugs. There is already one approved by the Federal Food Administration in the United States, which is called Bethesda. But of course, we have now the problem that there will be no omega-3 fatty acids for everybody because of the current patterns of exploitation, where many stocks are overexploited, and therefore we are running out of omega-3 fatty acids for many people. So what we found at the end is that also you can split the vulnerability by taxa, but I will not focus on that. But what we found here is that many species have bioactive potential, but many of them are vulnerable, and this is a danger, of course. We see that many chondrichthyans, or for example the seahorses, are used in non-proven alternative medicines, leading these animals to extinction. I take the example of pangolin, which has been linked now to the coronavirus. No, it's one endangered terrestrial animal that was exploited from recently, and they are using not only for food but also for traditional or alternative Asiatic medicine, which has no even scientific proven effects. So this is leading to the extinction of this animal, and this is leading to, as we see, real health problems. The same is happening, not for health problems to us, but the same is happening with the seahorses and the chondrichthyans, which are used sometimes for traditional or alternative medicine and leading these animals to the extinction. I want to highlight that even the Shanghai Declaration in 2013, I think it was, or 16, it says that it should consider the growing importance of the value of traditional medicine. Well, this has to be reviewed, because this traditional medicine or alternative medicine is leading to the extinction of some animals and plants. So be careful when we say that, because we are putting in danger the species. And then also, of course, we have the sustainable biotechnology. We have a clear example of the Atlantic horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crab is a difficult name to pronounce it in English, but it's vulnerable, and the pharmaceutical companies are having a lot of benefits from extracting the blood from these animals, many of which they die even if they release to the sea again. They are trying to find a substitute as alternative, synthetic alternative, but again, this blood is very, very valuable, and is leading this overfishing, along with other factors, including sea warming, to the extinction of this animal, not only in the Gulf of Mexico and the United States, but also in the sea and in the horseshoe crabs in Asia, in China. So, just to finish, what is the best way to? Okay, we need to have another look to these vulnerable marine species. They are important for the biodiversity, of course, alone. I mean, no more than that. It's important for the biodiversity. They are important for the fisheries and also for the recreational activities, because some scuba divers or snorkelers, they like to see these vulnerable species. But now they come the research for novel drugs. So this is another component of the question. The use of marine species for medicines and pharma biotech needs to be reconsidered, as I say. It's not only the question of their conservation. It's also the question of the inequality, because as we said before, we are facing increasing inequality problems. Just look how much it costs an injection of one of anti-tumoral products coming from the sea, which is Yondelis. It's nearly $3,000 per injection. So this raises the question that not all the patients can get these medicines coming from the sea. So we have here huge environmental and social issues, apart of the economic ones, that need to be well considered, that need to be well tackled. We have the experience what will happen with the fisheries and their exploitation and stocks, and we don't want this to happen with the marine biotechnology, whether it is traditional uses or modern marine biotechnology. So I think these things need to be really well researched. So I think with this I finish. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. If you want to learn more, I invite you to visit our website, Science Health UDG, University of Chile. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Joseph. I encourage you, if you have to put your question in the specific session that we have. We received some, and we'll debate them later. Now, I will introduce Selva Sadok from the Institute National of Science and Technology, Marine Science and Technology. Selva, okay.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you, Conchetta, for giving me the opportunity to meet you and to present some of the work we are doing in our lab. So it is, in consultation with Conchetta, we chose to present work done on edible packaging and functional food from shrimp byproduct, but also which will I will take the opportunity to present some other work at the same time. So why we needed to present such a subject? Because as you know, during the last decade there is a global public awareness about the huge amount of food waste and loss. When I speak waste, that means it will be considered after the post-harvesting claim, and which is done by consumer and retail stage. And this is usually happen in developed country, whereas it is lost during the harvest and processing stage in developing country. And it's about 1.3 billion of tons. The other issue and concern, it's about the healthy food. As you know, malnutrition persists. We are still having 1/9%. It's not well nourished. But also we have another program, big program, issue. It's about the plastic invasion, which is have a dramatic effect on the food chain, and this is especially. Can I turn? Yes. As you see here, that we have a big problem about plastic packaging in the food chain, especially in the sea, because all come to the sea at the end. For this, people are looking to act to find solution to this problem, especially by acting toward yes, donc we have acting to find solution, to find the challenge to meet the sustainable development goals, especially SDG 2, which is regarding to find solution to end the hunger, but also ST 3 to have good food to meet good health and well-being. Also, we have to ensure sustainable consumption and production pattern, which is SDG 12. In the special case of food coming from the sea, we have to look to meet SDG 14, which is to regarding the conservation and sustainable use of the sea and marine resources. For this, I tried in this work to anticipate and to answer one of the questions which was asked by Daniel about the impact. I looked to the impact of post-COVID on the marketplace. As you see here, I took this. Sorry, I have problem with my.
Selva, right? You can use the check control on your left. Okay, now it's work.
So here I present one international work done by Euromonitor International, which shows the impact of COVID on markets. And as you can see, there is only most of the market is have a negative impact on the market, but unless fresh food and packaged food, which are not have positive impact on this market. So therefore, we tried So this is there is a realignment of our priority regarding the food chain, especially including value, which is expected to become the single most important factor for consumer. But also they are looking for food, they boost the immune system, but they are concerned about also food waste and animal wear, because as you know, animal wear, the quality of food is depending on animal fur. So therefore, research and food industry have to demonstrate interest in finding solutions to this global issue. So in our team, in our lab, we try to do a solution, especially regarding recycling seafood waste for the extraction of substance of added value. Like, for example, the extraction of chitosan, chitin, chondroitin, collagen, carotenoids from the waste. But also we look to the analysis and the characterization. We look to their purity, type of physicochemical, and the elaboration of innovative products for different purposes, including functional food. So we needed to look to the selection, why we choose to work on shrimp waste, because shrimp waste is a huge amount, and because also it has 40 and 70% of the original waste. So therefore, we have a massive amount of waste are generated each year, and this contributes to environmental pollution. But we can have multiple alternatives for the utilization of such waste. For example, here in Tunisia and among many projects such as Shibio, which was done within P7. We try to look to extract chitin from various sources of waste, and we try to look to many species, including also crab. And as you know, the general schema of extraction consists of So to shrimp waste, which has amount of chitin, protein, pigments, and it goes through two steps of deproteinization and demineralization to have chitin. The problem is that chitin can be different according to the method we are using, but also according to the species. And the work we done during the year showed that also chitin differ from seasonally, the quality of the chitin. For example, in generally, chitin, which is different from chitosan, which is mostly used chitosan because it can be solubilized easily in contrast to chitin. So if we have a recovery going from 15 to 20% of the dry shell, and chitosan is recovered at a percentage varying from 55 to 85% of dry chitin. So, of course, all this compound goes through characterization, including the determination of the molecular weight, the viscosity, the degree of deacetylation, the composition, the proximal composition, and using the different methods. Sorry, I went too fast. I tried to show you how I'm coming back. Don't know why. So here, as an example, I show you that the chitin composition changed during the year, coming and also the chitosan is the chitin also depends on the quality of the type of extraction we do. For example, here we did chemically extracted the chitin and fermented with yeast, and we have different concentration of nitrogen in the residue, which is used as a parameter of quality in evaluating the quality of chitin. So this is to show you that the quality change according. Also, we try to find here I don't know if you see, yes, of course. The composition is another species found here, small species in Tunisia, and also we found that it is dependent on the season and the type of extraction we do. This is here, we show that the viscosity, as we see, and the molecular weight of chitosan is changed according to the type of extraction we did in our laboratory. And this is a species which is used in Tunisia. We found it because we import this species in the farm, in shrimp here, processing plants to export it again. So they have a huge amount of waste in the plant in Tunisia.
Selwa, sorry, just please keep in mind the time. You have 1-2 minutes extra. Just try to finish your presentation. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
So we have, as you know, the various applications in food nutrition, biotechnology, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, and agriculture. I just show you how, for example, the extraction have an influence of the type of biofilm we obtained using the chitosan. Also, we try to make a microcapsule using chitosan. The chitosan was used for the preservation of fish, and the work was published in international work. Also, in another work, we did the combination of chitosan with collagen to make a biofilm which has different properties than the chitosan used alone.
Selwa, please conclude in 30 seconds. Thank you.
Just to see that we have here many we did many other extraction of substance such as ingredients from seafood like collagen and so on. Okay, so I will finish with the presentation of my staff.
Thank you very much, Selva. I remind that the presentation will be available, and so the participants can have a look also to, for the other slides that are in the presentation, and in case comment or debate them also in the forum. We received some questions. We'll reply later. I thank you, the participant that actively participated. And now I give the floor to the last, but not the least, speakers of the second session, Concetta Messina. And I have the pleasure to give you the room.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. So the forecast of world population growth for 2030 and the need to meet the growing demand for food and to ensure respect for food security for every individual, as well as concern about competition for the use of natural resources and for the waste of valuable food lost as waste, stimulated the United Nations member states postulate the 17th Sustainable Development Goal, yet reminded by Michelle and by Selva, in order to that aspire to find solutions to the problem, first of all, to the problem of the hunger in the world and to the sustainable use of resources, avoiding waste as much as possible and favoring the circular economy. Regarding the fish production sector, the fishery value chain as is concerned, this is suffering more and more for the effect of the world population increase because in the last decade it has been increasingly directed toward the consumption of fish, forcing the fishery and aquaculture chain to make a significant effort that has often compromised the respect of their sustainability. So authorities, but research and world of production have understood that it is necessary to find some synergistic strategies in order to adopt a sustainable use of the resources by proposing some solutions that range from the adequate management of activity related to fish production, or, for example, by directing the consumption toward non-target species, but mostly by the use and valorization of non-food resources in order to reach the zero waste goal, and also in order to realize marine bio-based products coming from fishery, aquaculture, and fish processing chain. Our research group work on projects that have a strong industrial characterization oriented just in this direction on a national, cross-border, and international scale, which have allowed us to achieve results in the field of marine bio-based products made from fishery, aquaculture, and processing waste. And in this project, our target enterprises have been the processing enterprises, fishery, and aquaculture value chain. As far as the processing sector is concerned, this is one of our target sectors given the strong territorial connotation of our province, and thanks to the consolidated cooperation with the main processing companies in the area, we were able to carry out an extensive study on the waste produced from the tuna and anchovy processing value chain, for example, for the characterization of the bioactive component, or especially in important fishery value chains such as shrimp and bluefin tuna, both from fishery and from fattening in cage, in order to obtain fish oil enriched in omega-3, in order to obtain astaxanthin, with the extraction processes that now are in the phase of patenting, all output that we achieved in the project BioVec project, frontalier project, strategic project between Italy and Tunisia, coordinated by Salwa Sodok. And especially regarding fishery, another important value chain is that related to the processing of low-value species, because by valorizing non-target species from fishery, we, through innovative process of packaging or transformation for the production of functional food, we can reach also the sustainable development goal. And so this can help us also to use a huge amount of byproducts that were characterized and used for both for functional food production or for value-added ingredients, both for food and pharmaceutics. So, and also these results were obtained in the BioVec project, but we have also we started also a strong collaboration in this field also with the research group of the University of Girona with Joseph Loret. But for sure, the most promising supply chain that can ensure a constant in terms of yield and in terms of quality byproducts and is the value chain of aquaculture that can help us to have a constant and safe production of waste in terms of yield, in terms of quality, and so we put great emphasis on this value chain. Thanks to the project Innovaqua, so directed to the innovation in support of productivity and competitiveness in Sicilian aquaculture. We had the opportunity to collaborate with the largest Sicilian aquaculture company to analyze the waste component of the transformation fish from fillets from over 3 years, to assess the biochemical composition of the discarded components, and at the end to define techniques for recovery of omega-3 from all non-edible components, reaching the implementation of the technique for the extraction and enrichment of omega-3 polyunsaturated fish oil. But another sector, another area that needs to be explored is that related to the fishery by catch, that is represented by whole non-food fishery products, both relating to the species or to because are undersized species. This represents huge amounts, but it's not too well quantified, and it is very variable in terms of seasonability, in terms of quality and quantity, but this needs to be explored and in this because it is a very valuable source of bioactive compound for production biobases. So for sure omega-3 oils, but also chitosan, amino acids, and so on. And so we have this action in together with the fishery district, and will grow our Sicilian district. And all the mentioned activities followed by a phase of technological transfer, thanks to projects that provided for a network relationship with between research authorities and companies such as FLAG Action or GAC Action, and that took us the opportunities to gain some very advanced some results at very advanced technological level of readiness, reaching also the market. And this is, for example, the case of functional food with the addition of omega-3 oils, or with the addition of marine antioxidants, or, for example, the realization of marine biobased cosmeceutics and ingredients for food thanks also to the project by Biovec. But obviously, in order to continue with the transfer of technology, in order to gain innovation, in order to have a sustainable utilization of the marine resources, we need to do research in the biobased marine sector. So what we are doing now? At the moment, we have 3 innovative industrial PhD projects that belong to the smart specialization strategies that cover the area of the blue growth. And thanks to this, we are collaborating with, for example, with the laboratory of Salua, the laboratory of Claire and Leo. And one project is on innovative technologies for packaging, preservation, shelf life extension, traceability of the aquaculture fishery products. The project with the laboratory and the unit of Claire and Leo is regarding the production of a high-value hybrid nutraceuticals in a multi-profit aquaculture system. And the third project is an innovation of product and process in the marine salt value chain in collaboration with the University of La Réunion. While we are continuing to work for capitalization of the results obtained in the previous projects, thanks to specific calls such as the NECBC Med specific for capitalization, which we are working, and also the strategy for the circular economy with the Circular Economy Action Plan and the European Green Deal, together with the district, fishery district and Blue Grow, in order to reach together the zero waste goal. Thank you to everybody for the attention.
Thank you very much indeed, Concetta. You are perfectly on time. In the light of that, I would like to inform the participant that there is a great exchange of answering questions in the chat. The speaker are directly replying to the question. This is a very positive, because one of the aim of this workshop is also to try to encourage the dialogue and the interaction among the stakeholders and the expert or speakers invited. Now, with Concetta, we close the second session about the case studies. I remember again that all the material will be is already updated on the Biovoices portal, together with the recording of this workshop. So you can also see again the more interesting part for you online. Say that now we won't try to engage you, both of you, participants and speakers, again with our friend Mentimeter. So I invite you again to go to www.menti.com and use the code that you see on the top.
845835. Just a question from Maria. It was written in the chat. She said, seems that the horse crab blue blood can be substituted with the synthetic now. How far we are from that? I think that this is a question to Joseph Yoet. Joseph, if you want to reply to this.
Yeah. Yes, I cannot give you an exact answer, because I was looking what is the situation this year, and it seems that the federal administration in the United States has not accepted the last synthetic alternative proposed by, I don't remember which company. So it seems that there are some alternatives, but not all are accepted. There is one company which is called Lonza, which is producing it, but there is also a German company, a biotech company, which is also producing it, but not all are getting the registered by the administration. So it's not clear. It's not clear what will happen with that. It seems that they are working with that, but not yet clear.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we can go online to Mentimeter. And I would share the screen again, so you will see the website. And I hope that you are already online. And we will start with this first question. And so, Daniele, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Matteo. This is a general question that we propose and is related also to the post-pandemic or pandemic situation that we are experiencing now, unfortunately, and how the marine bioeconomy sector faced and react or should react, in your opinion, to the pandemic emergency. So this is the question that we propose to the speakers, that to the willing speakers that want intervene on and they want to give their point of view. Of course, in force of due the restriction of time, I ask a very quick answer, also a spot answer, if you can. So I give the floor to the speakers, the willing speaker, to this first question.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to summarize that I think that we were not prepared because we are in a system that we all try to treat illnesses and environmental issues. And the question is that it's more than that. We need to prevent, to work more towards the prevention. And this means to prepare the environment and the people to be more resilient against illnesses, not only to find new medicines to treat when you have already the fire, which is too late. That's my impression.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Maybe Concetta or Michelle want to intervene?
Michelle, please.
Yes, no, I just want to say that we should look for these for new molecules, and we should screen as much as we can all these unknown marine biodiversity to look for new compounds.
Thank you, Michelle. Please, Concetta.
Yes, my feeling is that we need time to, for sure, to give a contribution, but for sure, and research that support marine bioeconomy can do a strong work, both from the side of discovery, both from the side of improved technologies, and another aspect that is related to the contribution to the marine bioeconomy is that related to the utilization of marine food resources. As the recent situation gave us the feeling that we are not well prepared for situations that are uncertain in terms of food providing, as a lot of food, especially from fishery, was lost, and people are very suspicious about the origin of food. So research that support enterprise, giving instruments for traceability, to test quality, to test the origin of the food of seafood products, both from fishery, aquaculture, and transformation, for sure can give the instrument to enterprise to test the origin, the quality, and contribute to traceability of marine food and marine bio-based products. So for sure we can have a great mission as a researcher, but to straighten value chain and also to let that the consumer can be more confident on our value chain.
Thank you very much, Concetta. I don't know if Professor Claire Elio will want add something, or Selva?
Yeah, sorry, my microphone was not on. Something I would like to add about screening, maybe it's time to have more collaboration, and for example, if we have one pure compound, to have a way to send it to many colleagues who can do screening about antiviral, cancer, or other activity, you know, cosmetics, anything. Some which are very short way to the market and some long way to the market because it's different type of research. But maybe, you know, with pandemic, we say we should all more, you know, work together or be like kind of together, and maybe screening to have better screening facilities would be a key for success.
I share Claire with what she said. I think we need to exchange because all labs take some of facilities. For example, we can extract compound, but we don't have all the equipment to do, for example, the type of analysis of activity of the molecule. So I think it's a good idea to form a group or a consortium to be able to exchange knowledge, but also substances that can be tested in various labs. But also we can also, for example, intercalibrate or harmonize procedure that we will be sure about the analysis and the quality of the results we can obtain.
Thank you, Selva. All the speaker intervenes. We have also quite a number of input from the participants that asked you, Matteo, to comment them.
Yes. Okay. According to what participants said, the sector was not so prepared to the pandemic, and then there are some inputs on possible solutions. Okay. In addition to the molecules that could be extracted from the sector to fight against the pandemic, there is also the need of more sustainability and resilience, and to improve the way to monitor the environment. And there is also, I would like to point out also the fact that someone said that there should be a One Health approach. And on this point, I would also to say that on the 30th of June, there will be on this point an important workshop organized by Staridat and SCAR, European Health Group on SCAR. So also in that case, there will be a possibility to discuss about it. And I would like to move to the next question, that is both for speakers and for the participants that can continue to interact with their smartphone. And now we would like to ask you, what are the opportunities that marine bioeconomy can offer to the stakeholders in the short term, and to the plan, not only to the pandemic crisis, but also to new business opportunities coming from the marine bioeconomy. Some of them was already said by speakers, but if you have more, we can discuss about this. And then I would like to the various speakers to say a few words if they would like to specify something. So maybe Concetta, would you say something about this?
Yes, and this question is related also to the previous, and in fact, I can give same consideration as for the previous, but more specifically, opportunities that marine bioeconomy can offer to the stakeholder. From the side of fisheries, aquaculture, and transformation from the side of marine biobased. So straightened technologies for packaging, for transformation in order to ensure safer food value chain from fisheries and aquaculture, increase techniques for ameliorate techniques and procedure in this area. As in the area of the discovery of molecule, we need more time in order to contribute with the marine environment. But for sure, I think that there are molecules that have potential, for sure. But in short term, we can give our contribution to in the sector of food processing, also because the European community gave some measure to sustain the enterprises that belong to the sector of fish transformation in order to resolve some problem of profits and also of resources related to the COVID pandemic. So some resources will be devoted from the European community just in this direction to the enterprises that belong to the sector of seafood packaging, transformation, and so on. And this can help also to ensure a more sustainable and in terms of time and in terms of resources, fishery value chain. Also to increase the confidence of the consumer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Concetta, for your contribution. I see Claire ready to intervene.
Okay, I think I agree totally with what Concetta said, and I think in her talk she pointed out about zero waste, and I think it should be our aim, and I think we can do that if we always try to have a biorefinery approach. So from a biomass, we really try to use everything. And I think if we develop more of a biorefinery approach, green chemistry to try to use environmentally friendly solution for extraction of compound, production of compound, it will be very good. And it will help the marine bioeconomy because it will be less carbon, less environmental impact. And I think now consumers are very aware about trying to buy products which are, good for which are environmentally friendly. So I think it's a very good opportunity for marine bioeconomy, and maybe try to develop more short circuit economy as well. And as Michel says, like biodiversity hotspots are in many regions which are not very rich countries. And maybe there's more approach about local development, local bioeconomy, short circuits. It will be a great benefit for the whole marine bioeconomy sector.
Great. Claire, I give the floor to Michel.
Yes, so in addition to what has been said and what I can read, what I think is the fundamental researcher should open access to their database for the industry, SMEs, who are able to take the information and transform it into a product. And I think it's really important to open access to our knowledge, to the data, to the chemical diversity, the structure, the genes, or whatever. And I think it's in the short term, it's already a good step forward.
Thank you, Michel. I don't know if Joseph or Selwa was adding something.
Yes, I would like to, at this stage, maybe we can help students that can be use their results and to for example, to establish startup in established enterprise. So they will give them the opportunity to have a new job, but also to elaborate their product within established enterprise. I think this is we have to start with that. If we can help, of course.
Thank you very much indeed, Sarah, for this really interesting input, also related to the development of the local labor market. Concetta, would you like something more? Or? No? Okay. Okay, so I believe you were ready to intervene. Probably Joseph does.
Okay.
Okay. No.
Okay. In the meantime, we are receiving a lot of contributions, and some of them were already pointed out by speakers because we have people highlighted the possibility to transform these opportunities in new startups, in new companies that can then create new jobs, but the opportunities come from also on food, in the food sector, but also in the packaging coming from the use of marine resources. Regarding to the what Claire was saying about the consumer awareness, we are also doing, thanks to Biovoices and BioBridges project, a survey just to assess what is the awareness of consumers, and then we will send you the link at the end of this event. Someone asked in the chat, everything, also this contribution in this interactive session will be uploaded and will be available to you in the Biovoices platform, both in the forum that we will create, and we will give you more information later, and also in the page of the event. I will go to the next and last questions if there are no other comments on this. So this is the last question, and so we introduced this argument to this topic, and it's about how the marine bioeconomy can contribute to the regional development. Something was already said, Salwa said about the companies and the transfer of results, but I would like to add also that maybe in this context, also the involvement of policymakers could be useful, of course, in terms of definition of strategies, but also in terms of resources to put in the field. And I would like to ask to the speakers, starting from Concetta, to say some words on this point.
Yes, thanks. Regarding the regional development, of course, we can rely on more adequate addressed measures that involve, of course, stakeholders, research, and enterprises, and in order to create a network that can approach the problem from a bottom-up approach. So first of all, we can collect the needs of the productive sector, and starting from the preference of the consumer, starting from the needs of the environment, that are the needs of the planet, in order to find a sustainable strategy that lets us to use in a sustainable way the local regional resources, but at the same time render the regional, render the country at regional level more competitive, but at the same time able to satisfy the requirements for sustainability. So for this is necessary a strong relationship or some network and collaboration among stakeholders, research and authorities in order to find solution well addressed to the regional development.
Thank you very much, Concetta. Michelle, Claire, Joseph?
Yes.
We start with Michelle, okay?
Yes, what I think as Concetta is that the regional development really need to foster or to be based on more collaboration between the private and the public sectors. The scientists develop some knowledge, the industry or the economic tissue in a region wish to have access to this knowledge in order to develop a business or to develop new solutions. So I think there is a real need to close cooperation between the two. And on the other way around, I think the region should support small project, research project for this kind of screening of unknown biodiversity for new molecules, like to have enough money, like only 100,000 euros to develop a proof of concept, instead of waiting for having huge consortium going to the Europe. And I think this close stakeholders interaction in between policymakers or funders with the scientific public academia and with the industry and the SMEs is really, really important. And it's all together that something can be done.
Thank you, Michelle. We go to Claire. Claire, I think you're mute. Okay, great.
Even after 2 months of video conference, I'm still forgetting to unmute. So what I wanted to say is that I fully agree with Michelle and Concetta, and it's very important to have links between a private sector and research, but as well with academia. And now I told you we have set up a master in marine biotechnology a few years ago. And before doing it, we have been talking a lot with local enterprise to see which skills they are missing, you know, when the young people are looking for a job, which skills they should have to be able to work in marine biotechnology for research and development, but as well as technician, etc. So now we are setting several levels of university diploma in the sector, but for that we need to talk between university and enterprise to really see what is needed. And I think regarding regional development, it's very important because if I take the example of France, usually when we graduate, we must go to Paris or to a very big city to find a job. And it means that many regions lost all the graduates. And if we can offer, you know, good jobs, it will help the regional development because it will increase the attractivity, people coming to work in the region, but it will retain local people who sometimes don't want to go away as well. So I think if we want to have a very, very dynamic, attractive region, we must be able to offer very interesting jobs, and marine bioeconomy can do that and can help all those small regions to survive. So I think we need a link between university and enterprise, and of course help from the region to set up new courses and to help young people to have the right diploma.
Thank you very much, Claire. Don't know if someone else wants to intervene. Joseph or Concetta. Otherwise,
okay.
Joseph, please. Thank you.
Yeah, just want to say that I think that as the coronavirus situation has shown us, we must change our economic pattern. We cannot continue like that. I think we have the obligation for the future generations that the economy based on the marine ecosystems must be different. It cannot be done as it was done before with the overexploitation of the natural resources and the overexploitation of the marine ecosystems by overcrowding tourism industry or cruises. So if we want to challenge this, we need to and want to create new jobs, and we need to support. We need to go to a green and blue economy. So I think this is the most important thing, and to think over a long-term plan, not only a short-term plan for the business and the people, but a long-term plan for the sustainability.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Selva, would you like to add something?
To add that enterprise should be more involved with labs, because it's not always easy to have them involved in the activity, in our activity, and to have, for example, they can accept, why they don't accept students to in their enterprise, and they can create, as I said, for example, startup within their enterprise. So that's why I am speaking about that.
Okay, so thanks, Sadewa. Thanks very much to all participants that are continuing to posting their thoughts in this session. What emerged is the new interconnection between companies, researchers, but also the need of training, and this is very important, the need of multidisciplinarities, and of course also in this sense more connections between various actors. And there are also some suggestions on the creation of ecosystems and with some topics on how to better work. So I think that we have no more other suggestions to other okay, the last, really last question is about next steps. So how to, what to do after this workshop? What are the action to implement in order to boost the adoption of what we say? So just very final comments from various speakers, and then the workshop is over. Concetta, let's start with you.
I think that was a very good workshop, and very nice occasion to change opinion related to the marine biobase. That we had the opportunity to look at different aspects of the marine biobase, moving from sustainability to ethics to research perspective. We focused on some case studies, but for sure the most, my feeling is that the most important, not the most important, the most requested things was increase of collaboration, increase of sharing opinions, expertises, and results, and in order to have a common approach, also to go against the situation that that we are facing now. So I think that the sea and the marine environment is for sure the biggest resources to give to cover the needs for food, the needs for drugs, the needs for ingredients and components for many industrial sectors. So it is also in charge of us to find the sustainable way to use this in order to allow that also future generations can benefit from the benefits of the sea, and we can start to focus on the 2050 goals almost to to be able to reach this according to the FAO goals. So if it's possible, can I take just some seconds to say thanks to all my network? Is possible, Daniela?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so as I think that we are at the end of the workshop, so first of all, I want to thank the European Agency for research here represented by Daniele and Matteo for the very, very strong and fruitful collaboration and support. This was for us a great opportunity. And I want to thank all my colleagues and friends that accepted to participate to this workshop. I think that all people attending are benefiting from their talk, so thank you very much. And all the laboratory colleagues, students, my team, my laboratory team that supported me for all phases of the realization of this workshop, from the until the editing of abstract book and poster. All colleagues, labs around Europe, and not only in my second lab, also in France and in Tunisia. So colleagues from all over cities. So I don't want to forget anybody. So again, thanks to all for participation. So please, Daniela, you can do the conclusion remarks.
Thank you very much, Concetta, for your collaboration and for your accurate greetings and goodbye. I would like now to, well, we are more or less perfect on time because we start 5 minutes later and we are 2 hours perfectly. So I joined the thanks to the speakers, to the participants, and all the Biovoices staff that you can see in the last slide that we prepared for you. There are also 2 links that are very important, and please visit those links, because one is related to the forum, to the discussion group, where the debate opened today could be extended and can continue also after the end of the workshops. And then a survey that can help us to better to orient the project by the Biovoices project Biovoices action. So please, the last 2 efforts, we ask last 2 efforts. One is to duly fill out the link survey that you can easily reach through the link. And from my side is I think is all. I again really thank you, the speakers, the participants, the organizer, and all the Biovoices staff. Some of them you see me and Matteo, others were behind working for the logistical and social aspect of the event, also the contents. So thank you very much indeed. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.